Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pint Says Reader. I'm Abigail and today we are going to be doing a book review of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I finally did it, you guys. This book has been so incredibly hyped up since like September, I think. Everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. Everywhere you turn. Addie LaRue, Addie LaRue, Addie LaRue, Addie LaRue. It was everywhere. And I finally read the synopsis and I was like, well, this sounds interesting. And so I got it for Christmas. And you know what actually really pisses me off? Do you see that? Where like the dust jacket isn't put on right? Yeah, that pisses me off. But I finally read it and I thought I'd give you guys an in-depth book review of it. I gave this book a 4.5 and we're gonna go over why I did not give it a full 5 stars in a bit, so just hang tight. So in this book we start off following a young Addie LaRue in France 1714 as she is desperate to escape from a marriage she is being forced into. And so she accidentally does the one thing that she has been told never to do. She prays to the gods that answer after dark. And when she does this, she summons, we'll just call him the devil for now. She summons a devil and his name is Luke. Luce? I always think of that name, L-U-C, as Luce, but everybody says Luke. We'll just say Luke for now. We're gonna go with Luke. And so she summons this devil named Luke and he tells her, okay, I will allow you to live forever, but once you're tired of living this life, your soul belongs to me. But what Addie doesn't realize when she makes this bargain is that Luke has slipped in a little fine print in there. And the catch in this deal is that Addie will live forever, but no one will ever remember her and she will never be able to make her mark upon this world. So Addie sets off to live her life, trying to figure out the boundaries of her curse and just trying to make a mark on a world when she's cursed to never make one. And then one day in New York City, 2014, she meets a boy, Henry, who remembers her. And the story just keeps on going from there. Fun times, you know? I want to mention the representation that is in this book. So both of the main characters are queer. It is implied that Addie is either bi or pan, as she sleeps with both women and men. And it is not specifically stated, but I'm pretty positive that Henry is pan because there is this line that says that Henry is attracted to the person, not their gender. There is also a couple side POC characters. Both of the main characters are white, by the way, or all 3 of the main characters are white. Luke is white too. And there are a lot of side LGBTQ plus characters, and there is major depression and mental health depiction. So this book literally discusses like my worst fear, the thing that I lie up at night thinking about, and that is, what if my life just doesn't matter? What if I just go in and out of this universe like a little blip, like nothing I do ever matters, I'll never make a mark on this world, you know?
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
And so I really relate to especially the younger Addie, where she's just desperate to experience everything and anything because she knows that her life is just so fleeting and she wants to make the most of it. And I also really love that Addie spends her life trying to find these little cracks in her curse and ways that she can just squeeze herself in there and leave her mark on the world, and how she inspires all these artists to make art about her. I know that V.E. Schwab has said that this is the book of her heart. This is the story that she needed to tell, and it's a story that she spent, I think, 10 years writing. And you can really tell that this is V.E. Schwab's story. Like, you can tell that this is the book that she just poured her whole soul into. I have never read a book with such gorgeous writing. Like, people's main critique of this book, from what I've been seeing, is that it is too slow. And I agree, it is a slow book. If you like fast-paced books, this is probably not the book for you. And if you're looking to binge a book, it's probably not the book for you. The way that I enjoyed reading it was just reading a little bit at a time and just kind of taking my time in the book in order to just be able to soak everything up and so that it didn't get too boring for me. So I did annotate this book, as you can see, and I actually had a really fun time annotating it. Actually, most of my tabs are this dark purple. You probably can't tell, but it's this dark purple, which I use for like character relations and dynamics. And basically, I just tabbed every single Addie and Luke scene because their dynamic was just so interesting to me. Like, Addie despises him because he is the source of this curse that she has been having to live with. But at the same time, he is the only constant in her life, the only person who remembers her. And Luke knows this, and he exploits this repeatedly. I think that Schwab deliberately made Luke someone that can be easily romanticized, and people would be like, oh, he's the bad boy, you know? Because Luke's an abuser. Let's get that right. Abuse. But abusers can still be charming and handsome and still be abusers. So I think that's really interesting. I was thinking this whole book, does Luke actually love Addie? Like he claims he does. And you know, I think it's like the same thing with Addie, where Luke is Addie's only constant in her life. But Addie is Luke's only constant in his life. Because yes, he goes around and he puts these curses on other people and makes deals with these other people. But at the same time, those people die and he reaps their souls. They don't live forever like Addie does. So Addie is the one constant in his life. And I think that can be misconstrued for love. Whew. But the very end where Addie's like, yeah, I'm gonna bide my time, then he's gonna regret it. Ooh. So I guess the plot twist, I was very proud of myself. The one where Henry is cursed too. I guessed it. I was so proud of myself because normally I never guess plot twists. But this one, like, they kept mentioning how, like, Henry meets, like, immediately in love with him. And I was like, curse? Curse question mark? And then I was right. I was really proud of myself. Speaking of Henry, everybody says that they think Henry is so boring. And I disagree. I loved Henry. I liked him more than Addie. Sorry about it. Don't know what you want me to do about it. Henry, he's just so sweet. And like, if he was in real life, I would be in love with him. I would be in love with him. I really would. Honestly, I was getting bored with the book until Henry became introduced. Once Henry was introduced, I was so interested in the story. It really just renewed my interest. Like, Addie's great and all, but she kind of gives me not like other girl vibes. And I don't like that. And she can just be kind of boring sometimes, but I loved Henry. I really did. Okay, now for the main reason why I did not give this book 5 stars is because of how Eurocentric this book is. And this has been a big talking point for a lot of people, and you could just go around and around in circles discussing if V.E. Schwab should have written more diversely and had Addie gone to different points of the world and had met other people and had more people of color in this book. But then you get into, well, should she? And what if she had done it wrong? So it's a kind of a loose situation. And if you want to like listen more about this, you can go watch Read with Cindy's video. She did an amazing job kind of explaining it. But Miss Ma'am, little Miss Addie, spent 75 years in France. Like, and then she goes to like the UK and America. That's it. Like, girl, you're alive for 300 years. And you decide to stay in France? Oh, and I think she goes to Italy too. Oh my God, look, we're expanding, we're traveling. Like, you couldn't have made a little quick stop over or down or that way, you know? You couldn't have made a little quick stop. And I find it very strange how, like, literally the only person of color in this book was a black girl. And it is made a point that Addie thinks that she is beautiful. That's like the first thing. That's the first thing. Like, if I was in Addie's shoes, I would go all over. Are you kidding me? But at the same time, I understand, like, maybe V.E. Schwab didn't want to accidentally screw something up, or maybe she doesn't know enough about those places. But at the same time, you're an author and you're a talented one at that. I feel like you should be able to, but I'm not really the one that should be talking in depth in this because I was represented in this book. So I'm gonna leave it there. There's probably a bunch of videos that you can find on this topic. This book left me feeling empty inside at the end. Like, I had to lie down for a hot minute. A hot one, like steaming hot, like a long one. The fact that Henry wrote The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, like I knew he was gonna write her story because once I started like filling up the journals, I was like, oh, he's gonna turn it into a book. But the fact that it is like, this is Henry's book, I freaking love that. Like the way just everything came full circle. It's so adorable. I love it. I freaking love it. And I feel like the end leaves it open for a sequel, but I've heard people talking about whether they want a sequel or not, and I personally don't. I really don't. I think we're done here. Like I think we can just leave it. Like I really do. Like I'm satisfied with the way it is. I don't feel the need for a sequel. Yeah, overall, this book was just gorgeous. That's really the only word that I can use to describe it. I think you should definitely read it if you want kind of a more introspective book that really makes you think about all like the nuances and stories and themes that they discuss. It's definitely not one if you want action and plot and intrigue and whatever. It's not that. So yeah, so that is my review of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by me, Schwab. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell, do whatever you need to do. And that's it. I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.